This is a 2007 Nissan Armada, 5.6 liter in it. Recently changed the wheel bearing in it. Noticed the lower ball joint was bad on the driver's side. So to change it is to change the whole control arm. I've raised the vehicle up, taking the weight off the wheel. I'm going to go ahead and take the 21mm lug nuts off of it. Took the wheel off. First thing I'm going to do is take this lower pinch bolt out. This is 17mm and the nuts are 19mm. I wire brushed all the threads off. And the shock absorber, 19mm. I'll take that off. Sprayed a little penetrating oil on this pin. I've got a jack underneath the control arm just to help control it as I release stuff. The pinch bolt's out. The sway bar link bolt nut is off. The shock absorber nut and bolts out. No problems. I'll take the swing arm bolts out. 21mm on the back and 19 nut on the front. Go ahead and take a pair of needle nose and open this quarter pin up and drop it out. Take this 32mm nut loose and push back on the axle. I've got the axle pushed back and the ball joint raised up out of there good ways, and the dust shield on the axle and the axle centered over the ball joint. Now I'm going to take these swing arm hinge bolts out. Let the swing arm tilt out of this spindle. These lower control arm hinge bolts are likely to be frozen in the control arm bushing, so it's advisable to go ahead and order some new ones before you begin. I just took a sawzall and cut these ones out of there. Just cut it off near the head and then pull this out of the box. They get stuck inside of those sleeves. I'm putting a set of Delcos in it. Comes with the new camber washers. There's two of them, 4 washers, self-locking nuts. Both of these bolts face forward. One washer goes on each side of this cross member. It's got raised up notches, and these washers are offset to adjust the tilt of the lower control arm for alignment. So when both bolts get stuck in from the back and go forward, one washer, and then insert the bolt, and then another washer on the bolt, and then the nut, both sides. When you get your new control arm out, be sure and feed it into the ball joint at kind of a laid down angle first, and work it down into the slot, and then put the hinge bolts in the control arm, or you'll have to either remove the drive shaft axle or the upper ball joint to tilt the spindle back to get it in there. Risk damaging the dust shield on the drive shaft. I stuck the control arm on and ran the bolts down, but they're not tight. Don't want to tighten these bolts down until the suspension has a load on it. And even then I'll only tighten them 2/3 of the way, because it absolutely has to have an alignment to make it back right. I had to transfer this joints bumper to the new control arm. I used a jack to push up on the spindle to settle it onto the ball joint. There's a groove cut out of the ball joint, and then slide this pinch bolt through there and tighten it down to 70 foot-pounds. And go ahead and slip a stabilizer link in there and the shock absorber bolt and nut combo. Okay, the pinch bolt's tightened down. Stabilizer link nut is tightened down. The shock absorber bolt's still loose. The swing arm hinge bolts are still loose. And I took the slack out of the axle nut. Now I'm going to take a jack and raise this control arm up until the weight comes off the jack stand, and then tighten the swing arm nuts down for now to 60 foot-pounds till they get aligned in a few minutes, and then they'll be finally torqued to 100 foot-pounds. And then this strut mount bolt tightens to 100 foot-pounds, and this axle nut tightens to 100 foot-pounds. Okay, the weight's off of the jack stand. Go ahead and tighten those control arm bolts and nuts to 100 foot-pounds. Now look your bolts and nuts over, make sure they're all torqued to spec. Let's say I've got the control arm bolts torqued down to about 80 foot-pounds. I'm going to stick it on the alignment machine, and then the final torque on those will be 100 foot-pounds. Take a wrench and pull on the head of those lower control arm bolts, and if they move, the nut's not tight enough yet. Offhand. Make sure brake line isn't twisted up or wires for the ABS is messed up. And pinch bolts tight, shock absorber bolts tight, drive axle's in there and tight, and the rubber boot isn't got a dimple in it for the drive shaft boot. Make sure the wheel's tightened down to 100 foot-pounds. And make sure you got a brake pedal before you move it. Raise your jack on up, pull the jack stand out from underneath of it. Get it aligned.